All right. That link you have that I sent you, it should work. I'm about to start sharing it out while you set your thing up. Cool.
Mhm. I see it. Yeah, I see it.
All right, sick. You see it on here, right?
Mhm.
Yo, Lou, I'm hyped for today's podcast, bro. I've been waiting all day to talk to you about what's going on, man. I never thought this would happen. So let me just start off with this, okay? We're gonna get to some draft. We're gonna get to whatever's going on in Dallas right now. Got a bunch of things to ask you. Been waiting to talk to you for a minute. I had to take a little bit of a break in between the season. But yo, man, I'm ready to get to work and I'm waiting for you to spit some game, bro. Okay?
No problem.
I'm waiting for you to spit some game. So, yo, first off, Lou, how you been? Everything good? This is our Toronto to Dallas connection. Yo, we built that over the season, so I love it. I'm hoping that every few weeks we can kind of do a mock together, figure out where we're at, and then by the time we get to April, we'll have a pretty good idea of where these players are going to go and who's going to fit in the right scheme.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's a pleasure to have me. Pleasure to have me, man. It's been a long season. You know, content still going out galore. I love this part of the year because it's draft season. I think this is where I feel at home because it's football is purest. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I got that big board up on the right hand side too, so in a little bit I'll
Mhm.
ask you about that. But first question I want to go through, Lou, is what's your opinion on Mike McCarthy's departure? Did you kind of have a feeling that this is going to happen with Jerry's comments at the end of the season? What did you think? I honestly think we were going to sign him back for like a 2 year deal and he would accept it because I didn't think he was going to be a head coach on another team and maybe New Orleans is desperate and they will hire him. But that was my take and just would love to hear your thoughts on that.
The whole well, I mean, personally, I didn't want him back as a coach. Mainly because I thought his offense got stale, in my opinion. And then I just didn't think he was a leader of men. Like the Cowboys had just too many problems that you just saw recurring over and over again, like penalties, being undisciplined, missing assignments, and I just felt like we hit a ceiling. So from that standpoint, I did not want him back. But the
Got you.
way that Jerry and them handled it, I thought it was the most disgusting way possible. I mean, they set him up this season, actually not helping them, not giving them any, just not doing their job this season, and then driving down the price, and it's confirmed with them blocking the interview to Chicago, not letting him go interview, impossible get a offer back for them to counter. I just I just I just hate how they do business. And now we're so late in the game that now it's affecting what we're gonna be talking about today, which is the draft content. Because I just feel bad for these scouts, and now they gotta redo their whole board to be honest. But yeah.
Not only do they have to redo their whole board, they probably have to go through each one of their prospects again, which is likely double the work for the scouts and the team. Will McClay's contract also comes up after the draft. We don't know what's going on with him. He's a question mark as well. And really, with Mike McCarthy leaving so late into the process, honestly, Lou, I didn't think they would give the job to Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. They're they don't fit like that criteria of having previous head coaching experience or that familiar face with the Jones family. So I didn't really think like I know everybody wants Ben Johnson and everybody thinks like he turned Jared Goff into an elite player, right? He turned a mediocre quarterback to somebody who can now lead their team, take them into the playoffs, and be successful with weapons around him. But so did Sean McVay, and I don't know if Ben Johnson would be the best fit in Dallas. There's a lot of things that go on with coaching in Dallas that I don't think people take in. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of times the stadium's booked. There's a lot of time the practice field, with our training camp being in California. There's things that are different about this team that honestly I'm on the board with getting Deion Sanders here, man. I am I
Yeah,
am about this. What are you thinking here?
I don't think I don't think Aaron Glenn is a far dream because I think he does fit their criteria, being like he is a former Cowboy.
I got you.
So and I mean it's just a matter of at least bringing him in for an interview. Um, Ben Johnson, yeah, I understand it, but I understand his people gripes like he's coaching a well talented team, but I like his creativity, I like his spunk, I like the I see the adaptability he has in his game, and that's a dream. I think his price range is too high for the Cowboys, but Dion, I would love it. Like in a dream, I do because I think Dion would be the perfect fit for everything outside of the Cowboys. I mean because he would be just as big or if not bigger than Jerry Jones, which will create an animosity naturally. And then I just know because I followed Dion my entire life. Like I seen him coach little league, to middle school, to high school, to
Yeah.
college. He's gonna make demands to Jerry. Like, and I don't everything Jerry is doing now. I don't believe he will get away with Dion being a head coach. Like Dion was a type to like embarrass a reporter that we constantly like lied on his name or like eat like he embarrassed him like during celebrating the Super Bowl. Like so I don't feel like he's like he's very like steadfast and solid in his philosophies, and I just feel like I would love that. I would love a coach. That's another thing I criticize McCarthy for. Like, okay, sure, like the offense would sell. Sure, you got to do everything you got to do, but like everyone knows, and obviously, I just got the report. Well, not just got the report, but I saw Vach's and Brian's Brian brought us his show, and it wasn't a matter of contract; it was a matter of ideologies clashing. So, which means their ideology has been clashing all season. Which means he didn't want Zeke, Jerry wanted Zeke, just little things like that. But my thing is with Mike McCarthy, if you know your boss is setting you up, I don't care if Jerry does call down to the field and say, "Do it my way." Doing it his way is going to get you fired. You might as well do it your way and defy him. And I feel like I want a coach that would defy, you know, Jerry when he needs to be. Like when he calls down, says, put, Ezekiel Elliott, yeah, sure, boss. Hang up. And when it's time to send him out there, man, put Rico out there. Like I want a coach like that. And I think Dion is that coach.
All right, honestly, Lou, there's a few things I want to hit on here, and the reason that I'm kind of pissed off bringing this up is because when we bring this stuff up, people think that we're reaching, but it's not really a reach. You know what I mean? Like, and we're not being like unrealistic. Like, the report came out for these guys have each other's numbers. You know what I mean? Like, there's a report that came out for a reason for them to put a feeler out there in the media. Sorry, at halftime for them to say that Dion has some interest. And from Dion's perspective, like he's taken that Colorado program from, a really bad program to a respectable program that's almost able to make the playoffs. Yeah, he has his son and he's coaching them up and, he's guiding them through life. Who wouldn't want to do that as a father? You know what I mean? And if you're setting your son up to be a superstar who's going to get drafted in the first round and you've been through that yourself, like you want to make sure that he doesn't make the same mistakes and he's able to capitalize, right? So I don't think it's a knock to say, like, he's followed his sons around and made sure that they're successful everywhere they go. Deion Sanders also employs like an almost an NFL level of a staff on Colorado,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
has
definitely. Yeah.
Pat Shermer is his offensive coordinator, right? Mike
Mhm.
Zimmer was a assistant last year for him. There's some familiarity there. Maybe he stays as a defensive coordinator for us and kind of keeps this system going. Who knows what that looks like, right? So I think when we talk about Deion Sanders, it is a real possibility that he can come in here and the marketing aspect of it too, right? Like Dion's Our head coach has a TV show, right? He has a Mike McCarthy show where he goes on once a week and he's on TV. And I don't think other teams are like that. And Deion Sanders can handle that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mhm.
nothing for him to go in the spotlight and do these things that Jerry's going to do where he's like, yeah, you have a contract with the fan and you got to go on every week on the radio station. And, these are the extra things that come on with being a Dallas Cowboys head coach. He's going to thrive in that. And like you said, he's going to ask for personnel changes, right? He's not going to be scared to put his hand on the table and say, I know these kids, I've scouted them in college, and I got a really good feel of what we want for a culture on the team. That's why I'm behind this hire. And that's why I'm really happy that Jerry's kind of going out of the box and looking at somebody else that can come and shake things up.
Yeah, I mean, some, I'm on that side as well. I don't believe it's real. Um, because I mean, at the end of the day, it could have been just a phone call. I think there's just too many barriers for it to realistically happen. Like, Dion's in the middle of his like contract negotiation, so like this tactic could have easily been, to get him more money to stay at Colorado.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, he's gonna be making like probably 3 times more than what he would have been making, or probably what Jerry would have offered him
I
as a
saw he's at like
contract.
6.5 million right now a year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that'll be how much it is to buy him out. I think they're gonna probably triple that, in this because he hasn't signed it yet, so they're gonna probably do a counter offer, So yeah.
The other thing is people are saying Steve Sarkeesian, right? And like he has like a $50 million buyout or something like that. His buyout is insane because he just signed his contract last year. So
I think it's 10. You only have to pay the full amount is when the school fires the coach, but if he
I
wants
got
to
you.
leave, is the buyout is 10.
Okay, Lou, who are your top three like realistic options that you're thinking now for the team?
Oh, realistic.
Like, who do you
I
actually like? We're sitting down, we're chopping it up. Like, who do you actually think is going to be your head coach?
think realistic. I I'll tell you who I don't want. I don't want Jason Witten. I don't want Kellen Moore.
I'm down. I'm with you on that, bro.
I people you get like anybody who's arguing with me. I don't. If Kellen Moore comes in here, because that's what I fear. Like obviously, they didn't. McCarthy and Jerry didn't come to a contract. They didn't even get to the like they didn't even get to talk numbers according to Brian Broaders. Like it was strictly ideologies. I mean, I fear that Jerry is not gonna hire a coach that's better than Mike, but that's more submissive than Mike. And Kellen Moore is more submissive than Mike. Like I don't think like that would literally be bending the knee. Who I actually want, Aaron Glenn is a very good name. I think he will bring. I think like people think we need to go offense. I want to go defense. I want culture. You can miss me with the X's and O's part of it. I think we need someone who's going to be a culture like setter for our team. Like no amount of scheme and even no amount of personnel is going to fix this team. It's a culture thing that's affecting us, and that's a virus within an organization. So Aaron Glenn, I think, does that. Sneaky name no one's talking about. Robert Sala, in my opinion, I think he should get another shot.
I think Robert
And
Saleh should definitely get an interview on the team for sure.
he should get an interview, and he has experience dealing with a disorganized, front office and a wild owner because he literally got fired on a random Tuesday. Like it was that relationship and how it ended was so unprofessional and so one sided, and how they bent the knee to Aaron Rodgers. So I think he should because I trust him. And then um uh one more guy. I don't I maybe like oh, I wouldn't be mad at like a Pete Carroll. If Pete Carroll, only thing
Yeah,
is I don't like really old coaches. So if he has like a really young coordinator, some young promising guys who can come and learn everything, sure. But I think Pete Carroll can come in and be spunky and you know add a little. I just want structure and culture. That's the main thing I want from my next coaches: structure and culture.
I got you. I honestly I can see them going the Pete Carroll direction to kind of like concede that they paid Dak and they need a guy behind him, and Pete Carroll be that guy to kind of go in there and support Dak and make sure he can try to succeed, right? And they have that background with Russell Wilson. he stopped kind of running the ball, turned into more of that, you know, quarterback that's throwing the ball down the field later into his career, and maybe he's trying to recreate that. So I can kind of see that happening. But Lou, I'm gonna throw a couple of names out here for you. So you already know I'm about it. I'm down with Deion Sanders. If Deion Sanders comes on board, like I think he'll. We said you said culture changer, right? Like he's gonna be able to change
Yeah,
the
yeah,
culture and
he's
actually
a coach.
get
Yeah.
to these kids, man. He's a leader of young men. I think people don't understand that, right? When kids are coming up, we're a young team, we're a draft and develop team. It's the type of coach that you want, kind of making sure that they're going in the right direction. But if not him, what do you think about John Gruden?
Yeah, that was a sneaky name that I've been saying to people for the longest. I thought like I think Gruden. I like Gruden because of his network. Like he's connected to a lot of people.
And he's smart, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's smart, and people say like, oh, his offense is the same as I think he will bring. I like what he was doing in Oakland, structure wise. Like he was getting ready. Now he can't evaluate talent, but I saw a difference in you know it was a culture change, and I can see that.
Okay, I'm gonna go through a few boxes that John Gruden checks, right? He's a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Yep.
He has a relationship with Jerry Jones. He's
Hmm.
an offensive minded head coach where we've kind of put a lot of money on that side of the ball.
Yep.
He's an X's and O's guy. Maybe he's somebody who can bring something different, right? Someone who's a better offensive play caller than Mike McCarthy. And last thing is he can change the culture. I know he had a little bit of a scandal, right? Kind of going on to the Raiders, but he's that guy, man. That'll step up. He's not afraid to say anything, and I think he is also another type of coach that's gonna expect some change when it comes to roster decisions and speaking up when it comes to drafting players. Um, we're gonna go over one more guy, and that was Steve Sarkisian. So I brought that up. You said he has a
Hmm.
$10 million buyout, and I don't know if Jerry would go that route, right? Getting a
Yeah.
college head coach to come in. The only thing I think that makes sense with that is he coaches in Texas. He's kind of familiar with the area, familiar with the kids. I've heard that he goes through a lot of things behind the scenes, and he's good at making sure that the team's able to kind of move forward and that program's able to grow. But honestly, I think it's Kellen Moore. I think that's a
Yeah.
sad thing, bro, and I don't
That's a
want it,
sad thing.
but I can see them looking at it from the angle that, hey, Kellen Moore had us with the number one offense. He's here. He'll be able to, lead Dak. And maybe they go the route of giving somebody else the defensive side of the ball and say, hey, Kellen, you're the offense. You're kind of the head coach of the offense. And we got another big name defensive coordinator that'll kind of take that side of the ball.
See, but that's not changing the culture. Like a football team is
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a guy at the top, and we are in line. You can't have two CEOs, technically three, because Jerry is gonna want to be CEO as well. Like there's the it's we're too divided. We're just gonna be mutiny in disguise.
The only the only thing is Kellen's not like no leader of men. You know what I mean? He's not
He's
gonna
not a
go in
leader
there
of
and do
men.
that. Like
He's not. I don't think he can command the locker room. I really don't. I don't. Like I don't think he. I don't. What he's. I don't think he can speak with conviction. Like I really don't. I refuse to believe it. He's not. He's not doing anything in Philly right now. They hate his offense, right? Like he wants to really pass the ball. Like it's Philly that's really making him run the ball because they signed $24 million to Saquon. Like he's really calling offense with his hands behind his back. So
the thing is, like, he has the best offensive line in football right now. He has this one of the best running backs in football right now. AJ Brown isn't really getting the targets that you would think he would get, and maybe he isn't that guy. You know what I mean? Like he failed in Los Angeles. He came out of there and now he's in Philly. Sure, he's on a playoff run, but I just don't want them to think, oh, he's on the Eagles and we're gonna steal them from him before turns into like, the next head coach for them so that we're one step ahead. They think like that. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of worried about. But we'll see how this goes. I'm sure there's not even any interviews lined up, so things will come out this week. Deion Sanders was like the kind of first nugget that we got. Let's see who they're going to go ahead and formally interview, and My last question to you before we kind of move on, Lou, about the coaching thing is: do you think it's going to be a wide search? Do you think they're going to just narrow it down to a couple guys and say, "Hey, we got 2, 3 guys in here that we like, and we'll decide between that"? That's what they did last time, and I'm hoping that they kind of go the opposite and interview like 5 to 10 guys and make their decision from there.
I'm actually hoping the opposite because of the next topic we're going to talk about. Like,
I
we
got
need
you.
to,
I
yeah,
got you.
we have to decide very quickly because, and like we need a direction. We need a direction, and because I don't want any excuses. I want to sign our guys back. I want to attack free agency, and I want the scouts. I know they're capable of adjusting, but they need to adjust quickly. Like the Senior Bowl is coming up, these All American bowls are coming up, and like looking for a coach during this time, I don't think that's the ideal thing to be doing. Like we need to be focused on solely on gathering personnel, but
This is
no,
my problem with what you just said, right? The longer we wait, the more we run into the chance that the front office says, "Hey, we're going to rely on the scouting department for this draft,
oh
and we're
yeah.
not going to take the coaching input," right? And then that
Mhm.
just sets up the coaching staff in the first year to fail. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
that's what he did with McCarthy. I mean, he sprung Kellen Moore onto like, hey, you're an offensive minded guy, but listen, we got this guy here, this young guy we love, and Kellen Moore. He's going to be your offensive coordinator. He's going to call your plays, and they sprung that on to McCarthy on the first year. Already, he lost 1 year, of dealing with that, 1 or 2 years dealing with that, and
The time it took for McCarthy to build that offensive playbook to make CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott into all pros that year, it could have been done a year before. You know what I
it could
mean?
have been done a year before.
And nobody takes that in, right? And the other problem is they brought in Mike to be a CEO head coach. You know what I mean? Like a walk around head coach when he was like the quote unquote offensive QB guru. So I don't want them to hamstring the other coaching staff like that either, right? Where it's like, hey, if you're good at what you do it. You know what I mean? And
That's why I fear like I feel like they're grooming Jason Witten, and they're trying to turn Jason Witten into the next Dan Campbell, and they're gonna hire a guy. They're gonna have what I'm saying. He's gonna be CEO, and they're gonna have a coordinator for both.
the thing that I can see with Jason Witten too is like I know people who are watching this are going to get pissed, right? They're going to be like, why are these guys even bringing this guy up? We don't want him as our head coach. But
I
yo,
know, but
the problem with Jason Witten is he understands how it works here. You know what I mean? He's been here. He understands how the family operates. He can, you know, function with them. He has a vision and he's a tough guy, right? And that's kind of what we want to bring back. Kellen Moore doesn't bring that. So we lack toughness and we lack discipline. I think that's two things that every Cowboys fan can walk away with and say, "Hey, these are two things that, the team is lacking in penalties, they're lacking in toughness, and they can't stop the run, right?" Kellen Moore doesn't fix none of that. Jason Witten is a huge question mark. Who's he going to bring in as a staff, right? I think honestly, Lou, what we might see is him sprung on to this new coaching staff that we have.
I think I think he gets a job with the Cowboys no
For
matter what.
sure.
Not the
100%.
head coaching job, but I think he's at least like the tight ends coach.
They're going to put him on the staff and be like, this is our guy that we're babying and getting ready to take this job over one day because he's he's a statue there, Like players going to walk by him. He's out there like it's going to be a little bit weird being on the
Like
coaching staff and seeing Jason Witten's statue and like, you're supposed to be the head coach, but you have this guy in your staff that everybody's looking up to. So
I think they may hire Kellen first to be the head coach. It's gonna fail. They're gonna hear the fan base cry, and then I think they may demote. Like we may see the first demotion in NFL history, which they'll demote Kellen from head coach to the OC, and then they'll promote Witten, and then they'll hire and fire a DC,
ooh, that
which
is
we
disgusting.
that
Okay.
is it's and it's so Cowboys. It is so
That is
Jerry
freaking
Jones.
disgusting,
It is
bro.
it is it is literally disgusting.
I'm gonna say it though. It's our job. It's my job and your job as content creators to tell the Cowboys that we are not accepting this. You know what I mean? We are
And they're
not
gonna do
accepting
that.
Kellen Moore. We're not accepting Jason Witten. Get Deion Sanders. Turn this program around. Go outside of the box. Get somebody else if you want. You know, I don't care, but just don't take what's familiar. You know
And
what
if
I
they
mean?
do that, Jason Witten will be getting a completely fresh start. So Dak, like they'll waste the rest of Dak years. I think at least 2 years go by, they can get out of Dak's contract. Um, then Micah may still be here, but he probably disgruntled and probably want out as well. We'll be a fresh new team, and if they do that, if they do what I just said, we'll be so bad. And I'm hoping like we'll finally lose steam in the major headlines, and we will become irrelevant.
How
And I
okay, Lou, this is a sick segue into like, let's talk about this. What do you want the team to do? Like this is I don't think anybody expected this to happen the way it did. This is a fresh new season now. You know what I mean? This is a fresh new draft. We don't even know what these coaches want. We don't even know what kind of direction they're gonna go. I can just tell you right now, if Deion Sanders gets signed, maybe Dak Prescott gets traded and we draft Shadur Sanders. It's a real scenario that I'm throwing out there.
Nah, I don't think they can do that because we just signed Dak. If you trade him, you have 100. You got to eat $100 million. This is the same front office that didn't want to pay Cooper Rush 250,000.
That's why I don't think it works, man. Because like, there's how does he come here and not force his son to play for the team?
I we just can't get your son. I mean, unless we draft your son, but there's no way we can get to him. I mean, that he's gone with the first couple of picks I had.
Lou, what do you think about Dak?
And Dak in my team, my general, my I think Dak. You know, I'm gonna give my finally. I'm gonna give my full soliloquy. I think Dak is one of the best quarterbacks in this league.
Okay,
Now, I think Dak is limited. I think he can take you there, but he can't take you there consistently. Like, and if these front office did their proper evaluation, they would have probably found out year 6 or 7 that you need to surround Dak with pieces. He like how everyone else is being catered to the league, how we see Sam Darnold with multiple weapons, how we see Jalen Hurts with all data throw and multiple weapons at this display. That's how to a degree, that's how Dak Prescott's career should go.
I think
And
people don't understand if Dak was on Philadelphia, he would have won
they will
a Super
win.
Bowl too.
They don't understand. I think Dak, what makes Dak so great, he's one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. I think he's overcompensated for the like having some lackluster play calling. Like he does a lot at the line, pre-snap. Most people, all they hear is the "here we go." They don't know any. They're not football nerds like you and me. They don't know everything he's doing. He literally took certain protections away from the rookie so the rookie can focus on snapping and mauling people. They don't understand that. They don't understand that he's also calling out coverages and everything like that. Um, I just feel like this front office literally is in their best interest is hard to not give him any help because they lost the battle they lost the financial battle because they just think they're better than everyone else and they're not supposed to pay the norms price tag. So now they push these narratives. Now, oh, he's making 60 million. A couple of years ago, 40 million was too much. And we're so far removed from the 40 million.
Yeah,
Like if they would have done what they were supposed to do instead of wasting years, wasting careers, this is the same front office that traded away. We had two number ones at one point. We had Amari Cooper and a young CD Lamb. CD Lamb is not close to what he would have been, but we traded away Amari Cooper because we didn't like him. Not because he wasn't performing, not because he had uh, behavioral issues. It's literally because the front office didn't like him. So we have no, I don't I like, and then we allow the offensive line to gain an age. He just recently got a competent defense. I mean, up until Dan Quinn's tenure, the defense for the Cowboys have been terrible. Matter of fact,
that's
I just
facts.
retweeted a tweet today. All of Prescott's losses have been because the defense have at least given up over 100 yards rushing. And two of those games, or at least one of those games, they gave up 300 yards rushing, and another game they gave up 200 yards rushing. But no one fails to remember those games. All they care about is stacking these losses to the quarterback. So what I feel about Dak, I think Dak can get you there. You just need to you need to build a team around him for when he's not the hero. We are the only team in the league that are so reliant on our quarterback. Even the Chiefs are not this reliant on their quarterback. The Bills are so not relying on this quarterback. They have a running game around them. a defense around him for when he's not the hero
You
to
don't think
literally
he
buy
they do,
time.
but the Bills do, right? Like they have two
They
tight
have,
ends that
they
are
have two
prominent
tight
tight
ends.
ends.
They don't have names, but they have great talent around Josh Allen. What people don't understand,
Like
like
Cook is a good back. They have
a
two
very good back.
competent tight ends. They have Amari Cooper. They drafted a receiver this year to help out Josh Allen. They had one last year in Stephon Diggs, who they've had on their team for quite some time, right? So they Bills build. Okay, I'm gonna go through a few things, Lou. Honestly, I agree. I got a few concerns, but I agree on a few things as well. Okay, we are not giving Dak the running game so he can succeed in play action. We are not having the best play action playbook for him to optimally keep teams on their toes. And this is why we're running into the same situations that we are every single time we face a quote unquote good team or a team above 500. We're going into these games, look at them. They're benching Rico Dowdle against San Fran. Probably could have won that game if Rico Dowdle plays, right? So they're doing these things behind the scenes that people understand are happening. They're just like, Dak sucks, right? So that's one thing I'll say. We know that Dak's more than competent enough to lead us to a victory, right? Especially with the defense that we have as well. If we have guys on our, you know, that side of the ball that are healthy. The only thing is, like, he is getting older now. And when I look
Yes.
at these teams in the playoffs and I see 8 out of 9 quarterbacks, probably outside of Jared Goff, right, are mobile quarterbacks. And these guys are running for first downs. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at how these plays are breaking down and they're all moving the ball with their legs. And we're talking about Josh Allen, right? Like, I'm watching the game last week and he's making sure that they get the first down and they're keeping the chains moving. I just don't see that out of him anymore. And I know it's because of the leg injury, and I know things have happened, and he just can't be that guy. But you understand that as a team, you've invested in him as a team. You've done his surgery for him. You know what he can and can't do. Why don't you give him that competent running back? Why don't you sign Derrick Henry? Instead, you come to the fan base and say he doesn't fit our scheme. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are we saying Derrick Henry doesn't fit the scheme? Derrick Henry is going to take a ton of pressure off of Dak. And when we're in those situations where Luke is our,
Lukey.
like, third and one back or fourth and one back, we have Derrick Henry now. And it's like the same price, right? So it's a lot of things that went wrong that I'm not going to blame on him. But I'm a little bit concerned with his age and his injury history now. And like you can say he's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to agree, Lou, but he is a little bit injury prone.
No, no, you're 100% correct. This is I fear it as well, and that's what makes me even more angry about this front office. That they continue to wait. Like they last year was a waste, was a complete waste, and they plan to be bad from the get go. That like they didn't do
I
anything.
think they wanted Mike McCarthy to quit or something like
I
that.
think no, I think they did it just to drive down his price. They know they didn't want him back after the Green Bay game. That Green Bay loss was literally like it
My huge
rang
problem, Lou, is if you know that, right? Like you know, like this guy's like just had a
exactly
debacle, okay, and you can't bring him back now because like he just crapped the freaking bed. How do you not sign Dan Quinn right then and there and be like, you're the next head coach of our team. You're already here. We'll pay you what you want.
because Dan Quinn, in my opinion, he was the reason why you lost. He was the sole reason why you lost to Green Bay.
I
Dan
got you.
Quinn,
Dan Quinn kind of
Dan Quinn
sabotaged
checked
us,
out.
no?
I think I 100% believe he sabotaged us.
Dan
I think
Quinn kind of sabotaged us,
he
bro.
sabotaged us. He literally checked out that entire week. That game plan versus Green Bay was atrocious, and it was completely out of the ordinary. No one talks about it. Only the real ones bring it up. How he literally like it, they. I think we were playing zone all year. I mean, or we're playing man
Man
all
all
year,
year, and then we started
and
playing
then
zone.
we started playing
Honestly,
zone.
maybe it was because Gilmore's shoulder. Like I know, like he like dislocated his shoulder, whatever the game before. But still, like there's no way that we're seeing the way Jordan Love's looking right now, and he did that to our defense last year. It was supposed to
Exactly.
be like the Bears, the recreation of the Bears defense. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
'80s, like it's like what's going on? There's a lot of question marks, man. Lots of question marks. But yo, let's get to it. You down to do a mock draft?
Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna try.
Thinking that we could try, right? We could try
Yeah, I
go
can
through
try. I
every
can
single
try.
team. Um, honestly, I'll clip a bunch of this. You know what I mean? We went over the coaching, went over the direction of the team. I think we both know where we want to go. You want a defensive guy. You want a culture changer. You want someone who's gonna, come in here and put the toughness back into the Cowboys. And I'm the same way. I think I want someone who's gonna come change the culture. And we have a little bit of, our opinions on who we think it's gonna be, but we both don't want Kellen Moore. We both don't want Jason Witten. So that we can agree on, and we'll see what happens in the coming week. Uh, while I'm pulling this up, do you think how long do you think it's going to take for us to find somebody?
I like your guess as good as mine.
I'm
Because
thinking by next week, bro.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna drag this out because it makes them money.
The
Like
Senior
they,
Bowl's how long?
it's like what, the 31st.
I'll check that real quick.
It's the 31st of December, January.
Yeah,
And yeah, I don't know. Like I was just on the podcast with my guys yesterday. He's a
February
Texas fan.
first. February
He,
first.
February 1st. He like
We got like
he
15
out
days, bro.
15 days to find somebody. And the thing is, if you want Kellen Moore, then it's going to definitely take longer than that because you can't talk to him now because you waited too long. You were supposed to talk to him on his bye week or
Ariel,
like
let's throw
during
this out there too, okay? For the Kellen Moore thing, there's a little bit of a relationship that got damaged there, no?
damage.
Yeah, because they let him go. You
Oh
think or
no,
nah?
oh no, he's one of their sons, but they love him and he loves them. Like no, I don't think that.
All right, Lou, let me know you can see this, right? I got the draft up here. We're gonna go through this, guys. This is our first draft together, and Lou, like I said, we'll keep drafting, all right? And we're gonna get to the point by the time we get to April, we'll have the first round for sure down pretty pat, all right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna let you go with the first pick, bro, and then we'll alternate picks, and we'll kind of go from there, all right?
Also, the Tennessee Titans with the first pick. Um,
Give me your selection. Tell me what you're thinking. If you're a Titans GM right now, what are you going through right now in your head?
well, like I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe in Will Levis at all. I don't think he's a great quarterback.
Facts.
So I don't know if they just got a new GM, but if I'm a new GM, Will Levis is definitely not my guy. So I think the first pick should be Cam Ward.
Okay, so this is my question to you, right? Because we're talking about the first pick right now. So we know Cam Ward's not the best prospect in the draft, right? In terms of, I think
Mhm.
Travis Hunter is everyone's number one. Are you going to agree with that?
Yeah, he's the best overall prospect. Yeah.
So this is where I want to tell people that the position value comes into play, right? And sometimes taking Cam Ward and changing your franchise around with a franchise quarterback is better than taking the number one prospect in the draft. It could be a mistake, but that's something you got to gamble on. And Lou, why you not taking Shadur instead?
Well, I haven't gotten to quarterbacks yet, but and I love Shador. I don't think Shador is QB1. I think it's obvious Cam Ward with his ability. He has better size. He can move better. I just think his throwing motion is more up to form. Like he's the equivalent of like Drake May versus
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels last year. Like like it's that. So I think Shador is still good, but I think Cam Ward is clear QB
Okay.
one.
So we got Lou taking Cam, first pick. All right. Sitting here, I'm Cleveland. My biggest needs. Deshaun Watson's re-torn his Achilles for a second time now. Don't think he's going to be the same guy ever again. That's just my personal opinion. That contract's a little bit of a wash. It's a mistake. Take this opportunity with the second pick and realize that as a front office. Um, Now, Lou, I want to talk to you about this. They're not a Shadur Sanders away from even being relevant. So do we just build the team or do we trade back?
No, you get the quarterback.
Take the quarterback and you just build around him. Yeah?
Yeah, because they can get out of Deshaun Watson deal next year, and he retore his Achilles, so that means he may be out the full year and you have a lower cap hit. You can build it later. You're gonna be bad next year. Get your
Okay,
quarterback now, and
you're
get your
on the
receiver
clock.
next year.
Giants.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith was in the next drive. The Giants. I have no idea how they're gonna go because like they're back, and I think, but like their GM and coach, I think they're on prove it years.
Their
This
GM
year,
should have been fired. Let's be honest.
he should have been fired,
He
and
made
I
a
think
lot
he
of mistakes.
a lot.
Saquon
And
Barkley to the Eagles is a massive mistake. Now you have the Eagles on a serious playoff run who could potentially win a Super Bowl, and that would be the Giants' fault. That's a huge L to hold.
I think they go. I think they go Travis Hunter.
I was thinking that I was thinking either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter myself. You're right. Like I think Abdul Carter is that guy in this draft as well, and edge number one for me.
But
But
they have two edges. They got Brian Burns and they got three edges actually. So
I
like
think
they're
Abdul
deep.
Carter fits here in New England. I'm taking him. I'm. I think this is edge number one for me. I think they got Mike Vrabel. They want some guy on the defense that they can have a chess piece around. For me, this guy's a Micah Parsons clone. I actually think he has better
You
college
should
film than
you're
Micah
not
did.
taking Ted McMillan. You got Drake May. I think you desperately need receivers.
Uh okay, I'm gonna have this conversation with you, Lou. I'm thinking I'll go receiver and free agency with Devonte Adams potentially leaving the Jets, and you have Tyreek Hill wanting a trade. I feel like I can get a big name in free agency and instead get a chess piece on my defense. What do you think?
I don't think see that would be ideal, but is the Patriots a place everyone wants to come? You know what I'm saying?
Chet McMillan's that guy, big guy, big X receiver. Kind of
You
reminds me
and
of like Des
then
Bryant, like type of play style, right? He's catching jump balls over the top, and he's a strong possession guy. But I'm gonna be a fucked up GM here and take this guy. So you're on the clock as Jacksonville.
okay. Well, so you took Abdul?
I took Abdul Carter. Yep.
Yeah, it hasn't updated on my end. Okay. Um, Jacksonville. What are their needs?
Got
Um,
OT, guard, corner, tackle,
yeah,
defensive tackle.
I think they take Will Johnson here from Michigan because I think their number one was to get Shador and play him at corner. I mean, I should get Travis and play him at corner, but we'll go
Will
Will Johnson.
Johnson, I just did a film breakdown on him. He's locked down, bro. He might be the next Patrick Surtain. He looks good on film.
People question his long speed.
Question is long speed. I
Mhm.
think he'll get better with the right coaching. If he like his technique needs to be a little bit refined, but he had he Lou, they question his long speed. I don't think he trusts his long speed. I don't think he uses his recovery speed and he gets grabby instead. And that's the knock on him right now. But I don't think he doesn't have it. So I do like the pick here with Will Johnson.
Mm.
Okay, Raiders on the clock. All right, they need a quarterback. They need a running back. They need a wide receiver, safety, defensive tackle.
Mhm.
The quarterbacks are gone. Tom Brady's involved in building this team. They likely
Mhm.
have a new coaching staff coming in here as well. Um, who are you building this team around now if you're the Raiders and all your top quarterbacks are off the board?
This is where I'm scared because I think Ashton Genty is a threat to go here.
Yes, I'm thinking that as well. Could be Tet, but they have no one to throw to, so why get Tet, right? At least with Genty, you know that he will carry the ball 20 to 25 times a game and he will give you an offense.
I mean, if you get Tet, you can pair him with Brock, you know, and you can
Who's
form
all pro, first time, right?
for
Rookie.
first all pro, and you have, you know what I'm saying, you have the weapons ready. All you need is the head man at the seat, which you're gonna be bad again
Maybe
next
you
year.
pick up Sam Darnold or something like that for a
Yeah, so I'm
year.
saying you pick up Sam Donald, bridge quarterback, let him be there, and then you get a top pick, and maybe you can get a guy out of Texas,
I think
or
they're gonna have Tet ranked higher than Genty, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Tet here. I was also thinking Mason Graham, but I'm not sure what's going on with their defensive line and Max Crosby and
if
what
yeah,
that
if Max
longevity is.
Crosby is gone, that's gonna be interesting how they go.
But now you're on the clock, Lou. You're the Jets. Aaron Rodgers ruined your team, forced you to trade for Devontae Adams, who was a
Mhm.
waste, and now you're in this coaching search all over again to figure out a new direction.
Yeah, so you just need to buffing up and be safe. I think um I think the two mocks you can guarantee the Jets are gonna pick is either Abdul Carter or Mason Graham.
Well, Abdul's gone in our mock, so we'll take
Hmm.
Mason. Yep.
Yeah, and they can pair him along Quentin Williams and have one of the nastiest D lines in the NFL.
Now, I know that the Panthers don't have running back as a need, but what do you think about their GM thinking about pairing Ashton up here with Bryce Young?
I think they have more pressing needs.
I agree. So I was just worried that you were thinking that he
Yeah,
could get stolen. So
I
safety's a
think.
need. Starks is on here.
Mhm.
We have center as a need, but I don't think they're going to take center that high at number 8. Corners a need as well. Two top corners are off the board. I'm thinking it's between Michael Williams and Starks. I'm
I'm not
thinking
high on Michael Williams.
maybe James Pierce Jr.
Do they need an they do need an edge, right? But I don't think he goes this high. I really think it's Starks. I think this is Starks' range.
I think they were saying that there's like 12 first round grades in the draft right now,
Yeah.
and it's super low. And
Yeah, you
Starks
need to
is one
pick
of
one
them.
of those. Yeah, you need to pick one of those. So Starks is
Starks is
definitely.
one of them. So if anybody's wondering like why we're picking Starks at number 8, he is one of the top 12 players in this draft, and trust me, he will go. He will go in the top 12. Okay, so we have the Saints up here now. Edge, guard, center. They need their whole offensive line needs to be rebuilt. They need a quarterback as well. Derek Carr doesn't seem to want to take a pay cut. I think he's gone. They have a new coaching staff coming in. What are you thinking here?
I think this is where the first lineman comes off the board.
Banks?
I think Banks comes off the board here. Either here or
Banks my top lineman right now.
yeah. Or it might be an edge. So I'm not high on
No,
Michael
I
Williams.
agree with you because
Yeah.
you know what? When I'm looking at the film right now and I'm looking at some of these draft sites, some of these sites have Banks ranked as their number 3 prospect. Like he's that high up on their ranking list, and even the fact that they need guard and tackle, they can use him as a position flex. You know what I mean? Like it's a big
Mhm.
need for them, and if he's not the best tackle, they can just stick him at guard, and he'll probably be an All Pro guard. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I I I, I think number 9 for Banks is a good pick there. Um, Chicago also a team coming in, new coaching staff. They need edge. They need offensive line, defensive tackle, wide receiver. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I think they go edge. Wait, that's offensive tackle. See, like I have, we can go crazy here. Let's get crazy because
Yeah.
let's say, because one of the guys that has such a high grade, he's not up this high, but I think he goes here. So let's say in this world he passes physical. Um, I think they take a tackle, and I think they take Josh Simmons.
Okay. And my only thing is, you're an O line guy, Lou, right? So what's
Mhm.
making you not take Will Campbell right here? Everyone's gonna say Will Campbell's like the second rated tackle on everyone's board. Why is Lou going ahead and going all the way down and skipping
Yeah,
him and getting Josh Simmons?
I only got 2 offensive linemen with first round grades.
Banks
And I
and
Banks
Josh?
and Simmons, yeah, Banks and Josh. I'm not that high on Will. Um,
Let me
One,
put
he
it.
stands straight up. Like he's very high. in his stance. He's always in a 2-point stance.
Okay.
Um, he leaves his chest open, and then people are saying he should be able to play guard because his arms are too small. But I
Also,
mean,
people are
we
projecting him as a guard. Yep.
yeah, and I don't think he can. He's gonna have to he's gonna be more of a project if they put him at guard. And Simmons, the only thing that's holding back Simmons, like Simmons will be like I said, a top 15 player. It's just his injury. If they can get the right doctors on him and clear him, and he's like fully ready to go, I feel like he will be the steal of the draft. Like Simmons he was on par before he got hurt to
That's our
be.
sleeper pick right now, number
Yeah,
10, right? That's loose sleeper pick Josh Simmons coming as a number 2 offensive tackle coming out of this draft. I love it, bro. That sounds that's
you
sick.
get you
When you do
get
your
yeah.
research, this is the type of stuff you find out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like he's and you protect Caleb Williams. That's the perfect guy, especially if he's healthy.
Moving on to San Fran. They need
I think
corner, they need O line, they need edge, they need
I
linebacker.
I think they go
I think they go edge. What do you think?
yeah, but I'm not going the typical edge because it's a guy I believe he needs to reclassify as an edge. I think he goes here. Linebacker from Georgia,
Jalen Walker?
Jalen Walker.
I got you. He's ranked number 24 on this list, way too low. You'll even see on my ranking on the right hand side of the screen, I got him ranked number 12. There's
Or
Jalen Walker.
do you like Michael Williams here? Do you think they like those type of edges? I just don't like the run down in the middle, like just the power edges.
Let's just think about it from the business perspective, Lou. Like, they might want to reload on edge because they tried with like Chase Daniels and they tried with these 1 year contracts on the other side of Nick Bosa. And now that Nick Bosa is kind of mid into that contract, maybe they want to get a younger guy to replace him as he ages and goes through that. And they have a fresh pipeline of a, you know, first round pick getting there. But I think they have a lot of bigger needs. And
Yeah, and Greenlaw
when
is
they missed
injury
Greenlaw in the
prone.
Super Bowl, bro, they lost.
They
You know what I
lost,
mean? They
and I saw
lost.
one scout that's been scouting him closely. He believes he can be an interior linebacker. I don't see it, but if he's correct, you know,
You
now
pick
you
Fred Warner's that heart of that defense. You pair Fred Warner with another chess piece, I think you're cooking there. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You sign Brock Purdy back, you get all these injured players back. Trent Williams comes back for you, Debo Samuel, you know, their other receiver who they just signed, Brandon Ayuk comes back as well. You got George Kittle. Now you add another chess piece with Warner and Nick Bosa on that team. I think that team's ready to contend right away.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Our boys, man. What are we doing?
Since we don't have a coach, I'm focused on, drafting players that can be like transferable, coachable. I don't know what's the word for it, but like it can be
They
coached
can
by multiple
transition
guys.
to the
Yeah.
next regime, right? A little bit easier than
Yeah.
kind of picking somebody who's saying, you know what I watched today, bro? I watched Sean McVay. I watched a clip of him talking about Puka Nakua in the 5th round and this whole plan that he had for him and how he's going to utilize him not only in the pass game, but he was going to be an extension of the run game by being that, guy that they can run screens to and jet sweeps and everything that he talked about with the GM, right? We unfortunately we can't do that right now because we don't have a coaching staff and we
Right.
don't know. Like they're
So I
gonna
think
want
the
something like that, right? So we don't know what that is. So this is like a mock draft that me and Lou are doing where really we're drafting for ourselves.
I think receivers is out of the equation. Like I before we
A
fired
lot of people
McCarthy,
are mocking Luther here, you know?
I would, but we don't have a coordinator anymore, and I think we cannot take a receiver until we know what receiver the coach wants.
Yeah.
So I think the only safest pick, like if you are O coordinator and you do not like Ashton Jincy, I think you don't need to be hired on my team. you
Honestly,
know,
I can't be not picking him here. On
I
my
cannot like
top 15 big board, he's number 2 right on the right hand side here. You know what I mean? And it's like, how am I passing on my second best prospect? And when I'm looking at my team, this is a position of need as well. So not only am I getting BPA, but I'm getting BPA at the biggest position that I need right now. We just had a whole segment on what we need to do to help Dak, right? How we need to get his play action game back, how we need to get some of these people calling plays for him so he's a little bit more successful. I think this takes pressure off the whole line. I think it's a perfect pick.
yeah. And I think this is a pick that, regardless what coach you hire, helps them immediately.
Okay, let's move on to Miami. Got guard, tackle, safety. I'm going to go ahead and say that they take Will Campbell here, but what do you think?
What else are their needs?
Guard, defensive tackle, safety, offensive tackle, edge.
Um, we gotta. I know, like these edges I don't like. I think they might like.
Williams is somebody they could take.
I think James Pierce could go here too.
James Pierce is right next to Williams in my rankings as well. He could go here as well.
Yeah.
Let's take James Pierce for them. We'll move this along.
Did they have injuries again? Like at the edge, I'm trying to remember.
I can't really remember what their depth chart is right now. Let's look it up real quick.
But do they go Abuka because they're trading Tyreek Hill and now receivers becoming a need? I don't know. Do they trust Waddle to lead off things, or do they get another? Like, do they go tight end? That's a
I think it's too
yeah.
much of a luxury pick for them to put another first rounder at receiver. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And for their edge, they really don't have anybody. Sealer, Dickerson, like
They
Calais
drafted an
Campbell,
edge, man.
right?
Yep,
So
yeah, their edge is needing. So I
they got
think James
Tom
Pierce.
Robinson.
They got him last year. So do they go? I don't know. So I don't think they go edge. What is
I
this
took
one?
James
Do they go
Pierce.
edge? They go
Whatever.
edge two years in a row. I guess so.
I took James Pierce. All good. Let's go for okay. The Colts, they're kind of hanging around there. They got our
Mm.
quarterback, they got a running back, they got two okay wide receivers. What do you think? Sleeper pick for me is Colson Loveland, tight end
Yes, I
two.
was gonna say. I think this is the first tight end goes off. Do you think they go? Do you
Or
think they
they could
love
go Tyler Warren too.
Warren? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you think Tyler Warren is their fit? Like does Tyler Warren remind you of Dallas Clark, like the
Tyler
great?
Warren to me personally is the better tight end.
I need to. I'm not high on Warren as most people. I need to because I think I see too
Colson
much
is a
of.
threat though, receiving threat.
He's a receiving threat. I just need to see more film of Warren, but I do can see them like loving Warren
Okay,
more.
since I got Warren ranked at my top 15, you down if I take him here?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
on
yeah,
my
yeah,
big
yeah,
board.
yeah, yeah.
We'll just
It's not.
say,
It's not
hey,
hot. It's
they're
not hot.
drafting 14th. They got him ranked 15th. It makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Okay, you got Michael Penix now starting for the Atlanta Falcons. They need to
yeah. This
build
pick
around their
is
defense,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's either an like a pass rusher or it's definitely a pass rusher.
I think we'll take Michael Williams here, right? He's a
Yeah,
Georgia pass rusher, ranked eighth ranked person here. We'll go ahead and
Georgia,
take him
Georgia.
off the board.
Yeah, hometown. Yeah.
Okay, Arizona. I don't know what's going on with this team. I
I do
really don't
not
know what their
either.
trajectory
They
is.
how receiver they got Marvin Harrison. I think they're set there. Do they need a corner?
They need a linebacker and a tack. I don't. Let's see what their depth chart is. One second.
Or DT. Hmm. Edge. Uh, we are in the back of the draft.
We're in the back of the draft. Okay, they got Murphy Bunting, who's like a okay corner. Um, they need a corner.
Yeah, they need a corner. I think so. Ravel, I like. Only thing with him, like he's like Simmons. He's coming off an injury. Um, I
Ravel makes
could.
sense here, right?
I mean, I do see them. They could easily take Morrison out of Notre Dame
They could. Okay,
because he's a taller guy.
you want to? Let's just do it for the draft. We'll
Yeah,
take Morrison and say that
let's
they
take
have a little
Morrison.
favor, right? Then we got the Bengals coming up. T. Higgins is probably gone.
Yeah, receiver. I think Emeka Ibuka or Luther is the
Okay, so let's talk about
yeah.
it. Luther Burden's probably a slot guy. Emeka
Mm,
Buga is probably a slot guy as well, but can likely play all three positions faster than Luther Burden can on day one. Um, do you think they need a slot demon, Chase, or what do you think here?
with Chase, Abuka is like a floor raiser, strong hands, reliable. But I think
They're
Luther
using him on
Burden,
third down, right? Like in the Ohio State playoff game, they're using Ibuka to kind of make sure that they can convert third downs, and he's their guy when it comes to big plays. So I get the feeling.
I think Luther is the more exciting pick for them.
I think Luther would work better with Joe Burrow as well, being that
Mm,
accurate quarterback. Maybe they need somebody in the slot and take pressure off Chase, and they can continue to have success there. So let's go Luther.
hmm
Seahawks. They need a quarterback, but that's not happening right here.
Yeah,
Um, they need edge, safety, O line. Can go Will Campbell here.
you could, you could.
You
I
could
wouldn't
go
be mad
Nick
at it.
Skirton here. I'm not really that high on him. I haven't watched too much of his film, so if you have, Lou, let me
I
know.
no, I got. I mean, I'm not high on. I watched them. It's
He's
those.
not he's not appealing to me, you know?
I do not like none of those Texas A&M edges. It's three of them, and one of them went back to school at Alabama. LT Overton. They all play the exact same, and I do not like
For
none of their
whoever's
games.
watching this too, we're not even hating. You know what I mean? When you sit there and watch the film and you start with Abdul Carter and you start moving your way down, you just see that these guys aren't it, man. Like they're
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 not.
not it. So like, why are you wasting your top coveted draft pick on somebody who you're gonna have a project around, right? And you read their draft profiles and they'll say, hey, this person needs to go to the right scheme, or they need to go and they're gonna be a few years until they work on their technique to be able to project out to where they're going to be. You don't want to do that when you're picking in the top 10, right? So, I'm not hating. It's just these edges aren't it.
They just power. The best way when I scout, I don't. I'm not like selfish. Like I don't. Yeah, I have like skills I prefer. But if you have a skill and that's like your main thing, I will scout you around that. So if you're a power guy, I will scout you like a power guy.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a power guy, I need to see the power working. And that's the thing with them. The power is not working. And they try to counter, well, look, I'm scouting you like a power guy. I already know you can't move. So like if you're not
You're not a
impressing
finesse
me,
guy, you know?
you're
So,
so like
yeah,
uh
I get it. All right. So, these
maybe they
guys, what do you
I don't
think,
like
Seahawks here?
yeah, I don't know these other coaches. Though. These other coaches, they may like those type of edges. So, like, I know, like Mike Vrabel when the Patriots, those like Nick Gordon, them Texas A&M edges. That's where they go. They go to the Patriots. The Patriots don't care about if your edges can move. They just care about
I'm just
maintaining that
thinking the
gap.
Seahawks, like they got McDonald as a defensive coach, right? Maybe he wants to get a defensive guy here. What do you think?
Edge, safety. You think they go? Is this too early to go Xavier Watts?
Yeah, I think it's too early.
Well, they need guard. Tyler Booker could go here. Alabama, I like him.
Okay, let's take Booker here.
I'll be fair because I do want him to fall to us again.
Bucks are a good team this year. All right. They were they didn't even overachieve. Baker Mayfield, like we talked about this like when we were chatting, like, during like week 5 or week 6, like he was on people's like MVP list for like early season in terms of what he was doing. So they started off the season really strong, had a ton of injuries, and they flamed out and they lost to end the season and not make really the postseason run that they wanted to. So Baker's good for them. I think they have their offense intact, and they got to load up on defense here.
Yeah,
Ravel.
I don't think corners in. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
The only other thing I'm thinking is
Edge.
Skirton could go here.
Yeah, I think they like those big edges.
Pair him with Vita Via and like put him on the line.
Or
Let him beat.
I have a guy that I know they'll really like. I don't know how high they got him mock here.
Let's see.
Landon Jackson out of Arkansas.
I'm gonna take your sleeper picker, right?
I know they'll really love him.
I'm gonna take your sleeper pick there. These guys. Need wide receiver. 100% they're going to Buka if he lasts till 20. You think so? Denver?
Yes, yeah, yes, yeah.
They will take him in one. They will run up to the podium and pick him. Now we got Steelers. They need quarterback,
Corner.
cornerback, wide
I think
receiver.
I think they go and I hate it, but I think they go Jade Barron out of Texas.
Okay. Building their defense, adding somebody beside Minka Fitzpatrick, right? Chargers. This is where I think
Big
maybe
Loveland. Yeah.
Loveland could go here too, but I'm thinking maybe a defensive tackle comes off the board here. What do you think?
That's a good because what's the name? Maybe retiring. I'm blanking on his name. But I think their number one need is getting uh more weapons now. But like, and I know Harbaugh wants to keep that physicality mentality. So a tight end, is more weapons plus the physicality. That's
Okay.
my only thing.
We
And
got
I think the D tackle run happens in the second round.
we got Colson Loveland there, right? That's their receiving threat that they're going to take. Green Bay had a little bit of a debacle to end the season. Jordan Love, I don't know if people are blaming it on the injury, people are blaming it on a sophomore slump, LaFleur's play calling, but they need somebody to replace Jair Alexander, so I'm going to take Ravel here. They take a corner to replace him, and they
Mhm.
let Jair go.
Yeah.
Now we're at the Vikings.
Uh, what is their need? Is their need? Is there something a need?
Quarterback, cornerback, safety, guard, running back. Omarion Hampton.
I think Omarion Hampton is. This is where he finds his home.
And guys, Omarion Hampton is a first round running back. For anybody thinking we're crazy and we're drafting him way too early, you will see in April he will get drafted in the first round. I think Tuck did a film breakdown on him already, and
Yep.
he looked fire. He looked super, super fire.
Yep. Yep.
We got Houston, defensive tackle, cornerback, wide receiver, running back.
I'm surprised old lineman is not here. 'Cause they desperately need that. But D tackle,
Will
sure.
Campbell on O line to go and protect CJ Stroud.
I think they more need guard than tackle.
Would Cameron Williams fit at guard here? Or do you think he's projecting towards more of a tackle as well?
Yeah, he's more of a tackle. Um,
I could see them taking Derek Harmon or Walter Nolan too.
yeah. We can do Harmon.
Now we got the Rams. They're at linebacker, cornerback, tackle, wide receiver, QB.
I think this is gonna be a fire pick for them. I think Jahad Campbell will be perfect for them out of Alabama.
Where is Jahad Campbell on their list here? Linebacker Jahad Campbell. I
Hmm.
agree. It's a good sweet spot for him too, right there. You know what I mean? They take him in the
And,
first round. He's going to be
and they get
gone.
even better
He's
with
not
that
going to
pick.
last. Jared Verse is another really good pick that they had last year. That's thriving right now, and they add another linebacker to the room to add to their defense. Okay, we got Washington now.
They need. Do they need? Is defensive tackle a need here?
It doesn't say they have cornerback,
Uh,
tight end, linebacker, running back, wide receiver.
okay, then yeah, I think corner is a dire need. But I don't know if it's any. Is this too high for Amos? That's the only thing.
I was thinking Amos too, and like let's be honest, Lou. Like we're looking at the corners, right? Like they're not going to really last because you got 32nd and it goes jumps all the way up to 51.
Yeah, like
I'm going to take Amos thinking that
Amos.
they don't
Yeah.
re-sign Lattimore.
They're not. Oh wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
They still even with him, they do need to have a need at corner.
Baltimore's a sneaky pick here, right? I could see them taking Skirtin all the way up here at edge, and they don't need edge right now, but they need. It says here they need offensive tackle, cornerback, guard, linebacker, wide receiver.
I think let's fill two of those needs with one pick. Give me Wyatt Millen from West Virginia,
Okay.
offensive tackle.
He's going to project for you as what, tackle or guard on the Ravens?
I think he can play guard.
And then he'll shore up that offensive line that needs to be, you know, taken care of. They had a lot of injuries and a lot of late round picks that are filling in right now, but they're doing well. They're gelling well, and that's what the Ravens do. Um, Bills, now we have corner, safety, edge, wide receiver, tackle. I can see them going Will Campbell here.
Yeah, yeah,
And then we get the Eagles come up. And this is where Skirden might go. What do you think?
yeah. I think their number one need is edge.
Linebacker and edge. And I think he'll fit both. He'll take care of that for them. KC.
I think I don't know where they're going. I would say tight end is a need for them.
They got defensive tackle, offensive guard, wide receiver,
Mm.
safety, tight end.
Then let's take a D tackle. Then let's take a is it?
Tyleek Williams or Walter Nolan? I got to do more film
Ooh.
too, so I don't even know. No, I'm not this
I know.
good,
Oh
but
no.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know Tyleek Williams. I'm trying to fit. I'm trying to see does he fit them. Chris Jones is still there, so they just need a guy to. Yeah, I think Tyleek Williams would be perfect. I would hate it, but
These guys are projecting the Lions to win the Super Bowl here, bro.
they
At
are.
32.
They have 32.
Yeah.
They think they're slick.
So, okay, we'll end off with this, all right, on the pod. But we got Lions at 32. If they win the Super Bowl, they have edge, corner, defensive tackle, wide receiver, safety. Lots of people that can fill this. They can take a safety here. They can take Cameron Williams, put him on the O line. They can take Walter Nolan. Who do you think? They can take Xavier Watts too as another safety to add to
Mhm.
that defense. What do you think they do?
The dire need, I think, is at edge. They can't um allow this to happen again. So I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna give
What
y'all a
about
gem.
Princely?
I don't think I'm gonna give them a gem, even though I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate this pick.
What is it?
Give
What is
me,
it?
give me Mike Green out of Marshall.
Yo, no way. You're taking Mike Green here?
Yes, I think he feels like
I don't
he.
even
I got
think Mike
him.
Green's on these guys' board, man.
It's not. He should be here out of. Oh, they got two of
Oh
them
yeah,
alone.
he's 179. So this is our sleeper pick, okay? I want you
Yes,
guys to go look up some. I can't remember Lou who put up Mike Green film. Someone did, and it was fire.
it's that's why if you know, I want y'all to go really pay attention to that because right now they got in a lot of mocks. They have Mike Green going to 30 to Philadelphia. I don't think Philadelphia is going to take Scourton. Scourton's a run defender. They need somebody like Mike who can go get sacks.
I got you.
Format. Yeah. So
Don't worry, Lou. We'll do this again. This will
yeah.
change. I'll go ahead and take Mike Green here. Yo, this was a sick episode. We covered a lot of ground. We'll go ahead. I'll clip this stuff up. As always, Lou, it's sick talking to you. And hopefully, I'll see you again in the short future here. Okay, brother?
All right.